a lifetime in education would tell me that we need to fundamentally change what it is that we're after in K-12. And it is far more important that these kids graduate with a sense of themselves, with the kinds of skill sets and mindsets that are actually useful in the world that we're asking them to go into. Rote memorization, boredom, being disengaged, these are not things that we can just accept as, the most dangerous words in the English language, I would argue, are, but we've always done it that way. And I think we suffer from that in education. And I think, these kids need to be inspired and engaged, and they need to see relevance and application in what it is that they're doing every day. And I think that's a change in how we prepare teachers. I think teachers ought to be far more guides, and not see themselves as the great disseminators of knowledge. We are past that point in society where a single human being ought to be the person to provide information for kids. Thinking back to just a great activity or a great lesson that I always thought was impactful as an educator, especially teaching in South Central Los Angeles, was something that we had a funeral for the words "I can't." And we spent a lot of time, a couple of weeks sort of really thinking about the things that we feel that we can't do. And we were careful to, tease out things like, I can't fly. We're not looking for superhuman characteristics in this. We're looking more at, I can't swim very well. I'm not a good writer. I don't read well. I can't cook. I can't play the guitar. I can't start my own business. Whatever those things might be that we feel, I can't sing. I can't make new friends. Things that they actually want to be able to do. And we started to make lists. We would invite the staff. We would invite the community, the adults in the community, parents, grandparents, siblings, to all make lists of these things that they felt that they couldn't do. And really focused on sort of the power of the word yet, as opposed to just I can't. And we went out. At that time, there was a very small patch of dirt at the school that I was in. We didn't have fields and yards and gardens and things like that. But we did find a small patch of dirt. It was in a tree well. And we dug a big hole. And I went out and I even got a big black robe. And we invited the whole community out with their lists. And we had a ceremony. And I had written a speech. I still have it somewhere. Where we basically, it was an RIP moment, and we put to rest our I can'ts, and we put them in the hole, and we put dirt on it, and everybody came around and stomped on that filled up hole. And then we went and had a wake. We went and actually celebrated. And then from that day forward, I had a little tombstone, a little styrofoam thing from Halloween, and I wrote the words "I can't" on it, and it hung in the wall of our classroom. And we held each other accountable for the remainder of the year. When anybody said "I can't," we called them on it, and we said, "No, hey, you're working on that. You will be able to do that one day." And it was just it was one of those really memorable things, and I will never forget. I started that back in the late 90s when I started teaching. And with the onset of the internet and social media, as any educator would tell you, you have old students that find you later on in life through these mediums. And I had a student reach out to me who is now in their 30s and sent me a message on Facebook to tell me that he still remembered burying those I can'ts, and that it had impacted his life ever since and allowed him to go on with a different mindset. So that's the best of my best.